Welcome to our final Fitness Friday of the year. I can't believe it's end of 2025 already. Can you? It's just crazy. So, today, December brings excitement, but also stress, overcommitment, and energy drains. We're talking today about surviving the holidays, and I say surviving with more joy. I don't know about you, but I personally find myself running around, making the holidays amazing for everybody else, putting all this pressure and stress on myself, and I end up feeling exhausted. And sometimes I'm missing out on those unscripted moments with friends and family. Today, we're so happy to have Dr. Robyn McKay with us. She's an award winning therapist and psychospiritual advisor who teaches at the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and energetics. This is a rare bridge between science and soul, and we were just talking earlier, and I got all the science and the soul, all of that earlier. Credentials and codes, strategy, spirit. She brings a new level of clarity and coherence to the personal development space. So thank you, Robyn. Thank you for joining us. And always, as Rasha, she is here as well. So let's just dive right out into it and talk about finding joy in holiday stress. I know
Let's
that's
do it.
crazy. Yeah, let's do it.
I know.
Okay. First question for you, Robyn, is why do we feel like we have to survive the holidays? I know that that's sometimes how I feel is after the holiday, I'm just so wiped out. But why do we feel this stress and why do we feel like we have to survive things or why are we feeling so stressed? Can you tell us a little bit what's happening there?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And I was sharing with you before we started that I woke up this morning and really didn't want to get out of the bed. And I was thinking about joy and I was thinking, I feel no joy today. I would like to stay in the bed. And it took me a while to get out of bed and get going to begin with today. And I was well more excited to get out of the bed when I remembered I was doing this with you. But I think that when it comes to feeling anything or feeling the pressure to feel anything like joy,
Hmm.
that's just what it is pressure. And it comes from society and culture, from family, from commercials, from the
Oh
Hallmark
yeah.
movies. Are you kidding me? Like
Oh yeah. I
we
mean,
are, we
gosh.
are completely, flooded with social media and TV and movies that are telling us, instructing us on how we should be in the holidays. And yet, our humanity has something else in store for us.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with that. I know I personally I do the same. Like I like to watch the messy holiday Christmas movies because those make me feel real and human, as opposed to the curated Hallmark movie where everything happens and it's magical and all that. What a follow-up question to that, and this one's a little bit off topic, but what happens if what if things go sideways? What do you
Mhm.
do in that moment?
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's talk about surviving the holidays, thriving in the holidays, having the pressure to have this curated experience over the holidays. Well, we know that a lot of times the holidays are a really hard time for people and families. And Ram Dass, the great psychologist, always says, "You think you're so evolved? Go home and spend the holidays with your family, and let
Oh
me
my
know how
gosh,
that
yeah,
goes."
that is so true. Which is
Yeah.
everybody knows. Maybe you have an aunt or somebody. You're like, oh, we know when we have this holiday celebration, we've got somebody in the family that we have to tiptoe around.
Mhm. Yes. And because so many of us are too well adjusted for our own good, we have a tendency to really overcompensate in the holidays for other people's bad behaviors. And we see this with families who have any kind of substance abuse or alcoholism. We see this in families with mental illness as well. And, that's the reality for so many people. And yet, that pressure of perfection and curation is still kind of running behind the scenes all the time and instructing us on how we should be versus how life actually is. So, when things
Mhm.
go sideways, first of all, here's what I want you to remember: things will inevitably go sideways. Rasha, you know from practicing and teaching mindfulness, when you're teaching mindfulness practices and just a simple concentration practice of breathing and paying attention to your breath, and your mind wanders, we say, inevitably your mind is going to wander. That is human nature
Yeah.
for things to go sideways or for our minds to wander. And so we treat those moments with kindness, compassion, rather than with judgment and criticism. And I think that is one practice, and it's not even it's a practice. It's also an attitude to say that understanding that things are going to go sideways, and how am I
Mhm.
going to be regardless of what's happening in the outside world? Can I find my place of calm and stillness inside of me, even when things feel chaotic around me?
Mhm.
So, first is when things go sideways, acknowledge and recognize that things are bound to go sideways.
You're right. Right.
I think that that's an important first step. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that things that are perfect, nothing is going to be perfect, right? It's not going to go off flawlessly. And actually, what I have found is the things that I remember and the things that we talk about as a family are those memories where things didn't go as perfectly planned
Hmm.
as we expected. And then we're reminiscing about, oh, do you remember that time where the dog tried to climb up onto the
Yeah.
table and steal the ham or the turkey or whatever? Everybody remembers those moments. They don't remember the moments of, oh, the food was perfectly served, everything turned out exactly the way we wanted it to be. I don't remember those moments.
Hmm.
I remember the chaotic moments that we can
Yeah.
laugh about.
I prepare turkey and stuffing and all of the traditional American feast for Thanksgiving. And the thing that I'm terrible at are the green beans, the green bean casserole. Can't do it. Every year, my husband says, "Will you make the green bean casserole?" I'm like, "Are you sure?" But guess what? Every year, I didn't
Yeah.
make it this
Well,
year
maybe
because
he
I've
likes
learned.
it. Maybe he likes that
Hopefully,
it's a little bit
he does
messy.
not. He does not like my green bean casserole. He continues to think that I will somehow perfect it, and it's not going to happen. So now I've learned my lesson. I've become wise. But those are the moments that we laugh about, right?
Yeah.
That, oh, remember the time when Robin once again failed at the green bean casserole.
Yeah.
But they're funny moments, and I'm happy to joke about that. But you're
Yeah.
right. I think that those. So when we are walking a tightrope on the holidays, and we have set this expectation of perfection, or like the Martha Stewart kind of version of the holidays. To your point, I think it's really important to recognize it's those unscripted, spontaneous moments that can either take a turn for things are going to blow up and become really, really bad, or depending on how you're going to navigate that, it could turn into something really fun. And I think that here's what I like to do. I like to practice improv. The rules of improv are really simple. You don't enter a scene until you're needed, and you always say yes and. Because if you
Hmm.
say no, then the scene ends. So if
Yeah.
you can walk into your holidays practicing improv and being curious about what's going on, what what how can I add, how can I contribute to
Yeah.
this scene that I'm in, and how can I use good humor, and
Yeah.
how can I navigate this particular spontaneous moment in a way without saying, let me say this. I'm not saying don't say no in situations that
Right.
require a no.
Because
I'm
that's
just
going to
saying
be my
in
next question about
normal
that.
circumstances,
Yeah.
there is a discernment there, of
Yeah.
course.
But
And
I do like that mantra of yes and. I'm like, yes,
yeah.
this didn't go perfect, and yes
And
and.
how can I wiggle my hips a little bit and bring some levity or some
Yes.
lightness to it?
Yeah.
Because the other thing I want to say about joy is, or any positive emotion, is that we all have access to those positive emotions, but what we need to remember is that all of our emotions are fleeting.
Hmm.
And so that there's a deeper, like the decision to experience joy, or the decision to experience just curiosity in your everyday life, every moment,
Yeah.
being curious and connected with what's going on in the moment so that you feel something, I think is an interesting practice to do. And I say
Yeah.
practice
Feel
because you're
your
not going to be
feelings,
perfect
right?
at it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Feel your feelings, whatever
Yeah.
they are. And as you said, they're fleeting. They come and go.
Yes. And unfortunately, even the joy comes and goes. And so, like when I woke up this morning, I have a great capacity to feel joy. I did not feel it this morning, though.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while to get going. I got out in the sunshine and walked my dog Cooper, and realized that we were doing this today. I found my Christmas sweater. And so, there are things that we can do to move ourselves back in the direction of feeling our best.
Yeah.
Because we know also the science shows us this from positive psychology that when we're feeling our best, we actually we perform better. We have more positive experiences in our relationships and our jobs and so on
And
over many, many different
other
variables.
people feel feed off of that. So when you're feeling
Yeah.
your best, then that energy radiates out to other people as well.
Yes. And when I'm feeling my best, listen, I'm a little bit messy. And so my best is going to be a little bit messy. If you're more of a perfectionist and you're walking the tightrope on I have to have everything perfect and you're keeping a stiff upper lip, here's a really quick tip that will help you shift your energy very quickly. Just smile, just turn the corners
Hmm.
of your lips up. And it turns out the science will show that even if you don't mean the smile, your brain doesn't know the difference. So
Yeah.
you could literally walk around with a pencil or a pen between your lips like this,
And it thinks you're
form the
smiling, right?
smile, and your
Yeah.
brain thinks that you're smiling, and so it will generate those neurochemicals that will support the sense of well-being.
Yeah.
So if you ever
It's
see
the
me in the
science
kitchen
part.
like this,
Yeah. Here's
you'll
the
know I'm probably stressed and also trying to be shift my energy
you're
somewhere.
trying to feel cheerful.
Yes.
So let me ask you another question. So this is one I know I've personally I have sometimes I have a challenge with this was to set the boundaries. So lots of things that you could do. There are a lot of activities that people you get invited to different things. Sometimes you say yes, I want to go. Sometimes you feel obligated. How do you set the boundaries around the holidays to go and do all these different things without feeling
Mhm.
guilty? Or is that just me?
Well, boundaries are interesting because when I think about boundaries, it's me telling somebody else how they are supposed to be. And we can also think about me telling me how I'm supposed to be. And so that sets up kind of a precarious position for us because what I think what you're really asking is how can I be, I'm going to say self-aware enough
Mhm.
to be able to yet let my yes be yes and my no be no.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
mhm.
guilt is an interesting thing, and people pleasing, especially around the holidays, is interesting because we do have this sense of, obligation or duty. And if you're going to do something out of obligation or duty, my only ask is that you do it from your whole heart with generosity. Say, I know that I am committed to be here because I am a responsible person, but I'm going to go and show up with my whole heart. I'm going to go
Mhm.
and
So,
be and show up with enthusiasm and gratitude rather than sort of dragging myself there
yeah.
like I don't want to be here. That changes the whole vibe. So let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you choose to do something that perhaps you're on a scale of 1 to 10 you're like a 5 about, and there's no way you can get to a 10, at least be neutral about it and go. If it is something that is important for, either professionally or some kind of bigger picture than just this simple moment of being a little bit uncomfortable, if that makes sense. If you're
Yeah.
genuinely just tired and just know that you're not meant to be there, then just simply say, no, thank you.
Hmm.
No, thank you. And
Hmm.
thank you for understanding.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then let yourself be okay with that. Give yourself, I don't necessarily like this phrase, but give yourself permission to be okay with saying no also.
Hmm.
And when the guilt rises, which it inevitably will, you can examine the guilt and say, okay, hello, guilt, let's make friends with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Just like
again,
any
that's
other human emotion.
yeah. It's an emotion. Acknowledge the emotion and say, oh, that's what that is. I'm acknowledging it.
Yes, and you can also understand energetically, feelings like guilt can actually be sent from other people. There can be people in this world, like the Grinches of the world, who are going to probably do a little poking and doing the you should be there and I can't believe you're not going to be there and you're hurting my feelings. And that I
Oh, I
think
know
that
that for me
yeah.
is a huge trigger because then that triggers the guilt. And even though I know I
Mhm,
don't want to be there, I'll go
mhm.
anyway. And then
Yes.
I end up, sulking in the corner because I didn't want to be
Yeah.
there in the first
I
place.
didn't want to be there, and I'm going to throw, I'm going to make myself difficult as a result of that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that forward because I think it's important. We've spent so much time, I think, culturally as we practice mindfulness, taking responsibility for our own emotions and perhaps even making the assumption that it's just all me, and it's not. There's a dynamic. We have connections with other people, and those connections can be healthy connections and they can be toxic connections. They can be
Hmm.
manipulative connections. And so we have to, this is like a psychologically healthy approach to the yes or no, to really understanding that when you decide, I have decided I'm not going to attend this event, it's going to rock some boats. And that is not from where I sit anyway. I look at that as I'm not responsible for the other person's emotions on this.
I think that is a really, really important point, which is I'm only responsible for my own emotions, but I can't be held responsible, or I'm not responsible for somebody else. I know I, as a people pleaser, have always like, oh, well, if I do this, I'll upset this person, or they'll be mad at me, and that makes me feel bad. But I mean, just
Yes.
saying, can you say that again? Because it's a super important point, which is
What did I say?
you can't be responsible for somebody else's
Yeah.
emotions.
You really, I mean, we have, I can be mindful about my friend Lisa and say, I know that you really want me to be there, and I'm so sorry I'm not going to be able to be there. And I can be caring about another person's emotion, but it's not, I don't carry other people's emotions. That's a discipline. And it's an awareness that when you practice it, you eventually become pretty masterful at it. It's not that you're not affected by it, but really, we're talking about some really nuanced practices here that take sometimes a lifetime to understand how to do. But it starts with the conscious awareness that yes, you do have a responsibility to take care of yourselves, and you take care of yourself, and you can do so in a way that doesn't necessarily harm other people. And we know that when we're in unhealthy relationships or there's an unhealthy dynamic, chances are pretty good that that decision to change something is going to rock a boat that probably needed to be rocked in the first place. And people get defined. Everybody gets defined in these moments. And usually, if you're in an unhealthy relationship and you're saying no to something in the holidays, it's going to say more about that person than it is about you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. So can you help us set an intention for the holiday? Talking about all the joy and all the emotions and everything that we're going to be feeling for the holidays. Do you have a particular intention, something you'd like to have us think about as we go through the next, what, 2 weeks? I can't believe 3 weeks.
2 weeks. I know
2 weeks.
it's the 12th. Yeah, it's 13
Exactly.
days to Christmas. It's, what, another 20 days till the end of the year, 22 days until my birthday,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
January 2nd. I
Yeah.
know that's the most, I'm kidding.
That's the most important thing.
So whenever I'm setting intention, what I like to think about is how do I want to feel on the other side of this? Okay, so I actually start with my feelings. I'm a neuroempath, so I'm very attuned to my own emotions and to the emotions of other people. But you can tune in and say, how do I want to feel? And your that feeling that you want to set the intention for becomes your sort of your North Star, your coordinates. So if at the end of the holidays, and I always count because my birthday is at the beginning of the new year, so I always count like after my birthday, how do I want to feel on, we'll say January 5th? Or if we want to go to the 12 days of Christmas, whatever that is, January 6th, how do I want to feel? And if it is relieved, if it is satisfied, if it is joyful, if it is focused, whatever that feeling is, first set that as the coordinate. That's your North Star because, as we've already talked about, the energetics of this time are pretty bumpy. We're reaching the end of the year. There's a scramble at work. We've got stuff going on at work. We've got stuff going on at home. We've got all these priorities and expectations and all the things. So we know that this experience of the holidays is kind of like a weather system, isn't it? Like, I wish that we had a weather report every day for the energetics of things. But if we can set the intention at that North Star feeling, how do I want to feel? or another question I can ask is, how do I want to be different at the end
Mhm.
of these holidays? And if you can anchor into one of those and use that and remind yourself every day, this is how I want to feel, or this is how I want to be different, that's going to shift your whole experience, because now you're creating I wouldn't say an endpoint, but definitely a point of navigation that you can return to. And just like a ship's captain, every day is going to check, where's the North Star? Where are we in relation to the North Star? Then you course correct based on where you are to the North Star, like I had to do this morning. If my North Star is, I want to feel satisfied, I want to feel open, I want to feel excited about the new year and what's to come, and I'm laying in my bed saying, I don't want to get out of the bed, as a responsible ship's captain, I'm going to look up and say, okay, where's my North Star? And what's the course correction I need to make in order to reorient to that North Star?
Mhm.
Once I know where the North Star is, then I can say, okay, so what's the next thing? Move your left toe, just like in Kill Bill Volume 1, I think, with
Mhm.
Uma. I
Yeah.
don't know why
Yeah.
that came up, but you get it. Like that's those little things make such a difference, because they're tiny,
Yeah.
tiny course corrections. But as you know, whether you're in golf or you're flying an airplane or steering a ship, those tiny course corrections at the beginning make a huge difference later
Mhm.
on.
And it's creating that momentum, right?
Yes,
One foot
yes.
in front of the other.
And then the other thing I would do is I would share it with another trusted person. You don't have to tell everybody what your North Star is. But I do think it's important, not just for, I don't want to call it accountability. I think it's more like camaraderie.
Mhm.
And
And also just saying
today,
it out loud, right?
yes,
It gives it life and
mhm,
legitimacy, and it's
yes,
okay because I've said the thing out loud.
yes, I love that. Saying it out loud, sharing it with somebody who you trust, and maybe they share their North Star with you as well, so that there is camaraderie, and so that when you're having one of those moments, you can text or FaceTime, or however you want to communicate, send a telepathic message and just say, okay, remember we're doing this, and
Yeah.
then we just course correct. So I
Awesome.
think that that's the biggest thing, I think, for this time of year in particular. Of course, we can expand that into the rest of our lives. And if we look at this time of the year as a practice in just being still and present.
Mhm. Mhm.
We are so focused on giving presents. We've got the Hanukkah, we've got the Christmas, we've got all of the holidays, this end of the year, the champagne and the celebrations and everything. Everything is focused on gift giving. But I think the presence, pardon the pun, but the our presence is the
Our
most
presence.
important.
Yeah,
Our presence is the most important gift that we can give to ourselves and to others as well.
I agree. Well, Rasha, on that note, would you like to do a little bit of a mindfulness practice for us to kind of send us on our way so that we can all set our intentions?
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so for the practice, uh, you want to be sitting straight, maybe on a couch or your chair, or even on the floor. You want to feel grounded and stable, sitting tall, top of the head aligned straight to the sky, shoulders relaxed. You can close your eyes or look straight on the floor. The meditation will start and end with the gong. There's going to be two type of meditation. The first one is breathing meditation, and you can use that when your nervous system feels overwhelmed. And it's basically you're going to inhale through the nose, grow taller, exhale through the mouth, almost as if you're blowing through a straw. So we're gonna do 5 of those. You can add a hand movement to it, almost like you are a maestro, the symphony of your breath. You inhale, lift up. You exhale, bring your hand down. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, grow down. So I'll guide you through it. And then the second meditation is visualization, exactly as Dr. Robyn said, to help us find our North Star. All right, let's start. Here comes the gong. Inhale, take a deep breath in, and then exhale it slowly through the mouth, like you blowing through a straw. 4 more breaths. Follow your own rhythm. Inhale through the nose, grow taller. Exhale through the mouth, feeling more grounded, sinking deeper into your chair. 3 more. Follow your own breath. You inhale, reach for the sky. You exhale, release any tension in the body. 2 more. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, relax into your chair. Last one. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, release any tension in the body. Now come back to your normal breath, focusing on the tip of the nose. You'll notice cool air coming in, warm air leaving the body. On your next inhale, visualize a ray of sunshine coming into the body, warming you up. And as you exhale, see black smoke of stress leaving the body. Inhale, bring into calmness into the body. Exhale, release worries out of the body. Inhale loving kindness into the body, filling every corner, nook and cranny. Exhale fears hidden in your jaw, shoulders, stomach, hips, legs. Inhale confidence into the body. Exhale doubt out of the body. Inhale joy filling the body. Exhale confusion out of the body. Inhale gratitude into the body, filling every nook and cranny. Exhale judgment, expectation, and criticism out of the body. And then relax into your regular breath.
Whew. Thank you. Thank you for that. So thank you so much, Robyn, for joining us today. Appreciate your time. Is there anything that you want to tell us about that with the work that you're doing? If you have anything coming up, do you want to tell us about any of your
Of
activities?
course. And Rasha, thank you for helping us clear the palette so that we can set our intentions and find our North Star. Your North Star is literally like right there, like right there. So, yes.
Yes.
So I every year do an end of the year roundtable for women who are credentialed and high achieving who are really, I'm calling it the sacred edit this year. Maybe it's because I'm getting ready to clean out my closet, but it just seems like a good time to really look at all of the roles, responsibilities, sometimes acquired, sometimes projected onto us, and to clear out all of those roles and come back home to ourselves so that we can really enter into 2026 with our whole selves. Because this is like, I'm in a place, and I think many of us are, where we've been healing for a really long time. To what end? And for me, to what end? It's to be creative. It's to experience joy and play and fun and bring beauty into the world. So that's what I'm doing. It's called the Sacred Edit. It's a roundtable. It's limited to 11 women leaders, and it's Saturday, the 27th, December 27th. I have a special code for everyone, so I will share that. I think we'll share that in the show notes. If that's
Yes.
something that is of interest to you, if you're leaning in, you can reach out to me and ask me if I feel like it's right for you, and we'll be happy to join you on at the roundtable.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Robin and Rasha, and everybody for joining us. This, again, was our last one for 2025. Join us next month. We are going to kick off the new year. We're actually going to bring a personal trainer, massage therapist, and she is going to talk about helping us reset as high performance individuals. We all sit at our desk, we're hunched over, we're working all day long. We could probably sit for hours just working on something, and she's going to help us release physical tension throughout our workday. So please join us for our next month. And for everybody, happy holidays, happy new year. We're looking forward to an amazing 2026 for everybody. Thank you so much for joining.
Happy holiday.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.